Laudetur Jesus Christus. Praised be Jesus Christ. A very warm welcome to you all on behalf of Vatican Media, Vatican Radio, and on behalf of all my colleagues here at the Vatican's Dicastery for Communication. My name is Francesca Merlo, and it is my pleasure to be providing the commentary for this live broadcast of Pope Francis's general audience today, Wednesday, the 17th of April. The event is taking place in St. Peter's Square in the Vatican, and as those of you who are watching on television screens will be able to see, pilgrims are still taking their seats in St. Peter's Square, and Pope Francis is doing the rounds in his Popemobile, making his way up to the podium. A very warm welcome to all of you, whether you're joining us via our Vatican News YouTube channel, via our various partner stations, Radio Maria Papua New Guinea, Luminous Radio India, Catholic TV, Atmadarshan TV, Shalom Well TV, Radio Maria England, Salt and Light TV, Catholic Faith Network in America, EWTN TV English, or via any local or diocesan radio stations around the world. And a very warm welcome also goes to all of our friends from the Deaf Catholic Youth Initiative for the Americas, DCYIA. Please visit our YouTube channel with translation in American Sign Language at Vatican News-ASL. This broadcast is also available live right now on our Vatican Media audio app and Vatican News website, which you can access at www.vaticannews.va. And a live broadcast is also being streamed on our Facebook page. We will begin very shortly with a reading from the book of Sirach in various languages. After that, and I'm sure you all know the structure, but for those of you who are just joining us, after that Pope Francis will give a catechesis in Italian, and we will be providing a simultaneous English language translation of that. And that will be followed by a summary of Pope Francis's catechesis in various languages. And we won't be translating these summaries because, of course, you will have just heard the whole of the Pope's address, but we will then translate the Pope's greetings to the faithful of each language group. And the general audience will then conclude with the singing of the Our Father in Latin, and with the Holy Father's apostolic blessing, which is imparted to all of those listening live, whether in person in the Vatican or at a distance via this or other broadcasts. But that all comes later on. Pope Francis is currently greeting all of the different language readers, those who will be providing the summaries of the catechesis, and greeting the faithful of the various language groups. Now, Pope Francis has been following a cycle of catechesis on the vices and the virtues. Last week we heard about justice, and this week should conclude this cycle of catechesis on the vices and the virtues, with the theme of temperance. Now Pope Francis is just making his way up onto the podium in St. Peter's Square. It's shaping up to be a rather lovely day here in Rome. The Swiss Guards have taken their position on either side of the Holy Father, which is a signal of
Il Santo
the
Padre
Pope's
dà ora
presence.
inizio all'udienza generale,
And Pope Francis
introducendola
will
con il
now
segno della croce e il saluto
begin and
liturgico.
open the general
Disponiamoci
audience.
ad accogliere la
So
sua
let
parola
us
e a
prepare
ricevere
to
la sua
receive
benedizione.
his words and his blessing.
Nel nome del Padre, del Figlio e dello Spirito Santo. La pace sia con voi.
Dal libro del Siracide. Non seguire il
And
tuo
we now hear
istinto e la
the
tua
reading of the
forza,
day
assecondando
in
le
Italian.
passioni del tuo cuore.
Just a
Una
reminder,
passione
the reading
malvagia
is from the
rovina
book
chi
of
la
Sirach,
possiede e lo fa oggetto di scherno per i nemici. Non privarti di un giorno felice, non ti sfugga nulla di un legittimo desiderio. Parola di Dio.
Du livre de Siracide. Ne te laisse pas
now the same
entraîner par
reading
ton
in
instinct
French.
et ta force à suivre les désirs de ton cœur. Une passion mauvaise perd celui qui la possède et fait de lui la risée de ses ennemis. Ne te prive pas d'un jour de bonheur. Ne refuse pas ta part de satisfaction. Parole du Seigneur.
A reading from the book of Sirach. Do not follow your
And now in
inclination and
English.
strength, walking according to the desires of your heart. An evil soul will destroy him who has it, and make him the laughingstock of his enemies. Do not deprive yourself of a happy day. Let not your share of desired good pass by you. The word of the Lord.
And now we hear the reading in
Lesung
German.
aus dem Buch Jesus Sirach. Folge nicht deiner Seele und deiner Kraft, um nach den Begierden deines Herzens zu leben. Eine böse Seele wird den, dem sie gehört, zugrunde richten und ihn zum Gespött der Feinde machen. Einen schönen Tag lass nicht vorbeigehen und den Anteil an dem, was du Gutes begehrst, lass nicht vorübergehen. Wort des lebendigen Gottes.
We just heard the reading in German, and now
Lectura
we
del
hear it in
libro del
Spanish.
Eclesiástico. No dejes que tu
For
deseo y
those
tu
of you who have
fuerza te lleven
just
a
joined
obrar
us, a
según
very
tus
warm welcome to you
caprichos.
all
Una pasión
to
violenta
this live
pierde al que
commentary
la tiene
of Pope
y hace que
Francis's
sus
general
enemigos
audience,
se rían de él.
which is taking place today
No te
in
prives
St.
de un
Peter's
día
Square in the
agradable,
Vatican.
ni desaproveches tu
We
parte
are
de
currently
gozo
hearing
legítimo.
the reading
Palabra
of
de
the day,
Dios.
which is taken from the book of Sirach, and we are hearing it in the various languages. We have just heard it in Spanish.
Leitura do livro de Ben Sirá.
And here
Não
it is
siga
now
os teus
in
desejos
Portuguese.
e a tua força indo atrás das paixões do coração. Uma paixão má perde aquele que a possui, torna um motivo de alegria para os seus inimigos. Não te prives da felicidade presente e não deixes perder nenhuma parcela de um legítimo desejo. Palavra do Senhor.
And now the same reading in
قراءة من
Arabic.
سفر يشوع بن سراخ.
لا تتبع هواك وقوتك لتسير في شهوات قلبك. النفس الشريرة تهلك صاحبها وتجعله شماتة لأعدائه. لا تحرم نفسك من يوم صالح ولا يفوتك نصيبك من رغبة صالحة. كلام الرب.
And after hearing the reading in Arabic, we should now be hearing it in Polish.
Czytanie z mądrości Syracha. Nie daj się uwieść żądzom i sile, by iść za zachciankami swego serca. Zła skłonność zgubi tego, który jej nabył i uczyni go pośmiewiskiem dla jego wrogów. Nie pozbawiaj się dnia szczęśliwego, a przedmiot szlachetnego pożądania niech cię nie omija. Oto Słowo Boże.
And that brings an end to the readings in the various languages. We should now be hearing Pope Francis's catechesis, which he usually provides in Italian.
Cari fratelli e sorelle, buongiorno.
Dear brothers and sisters, good morning.
Oggi è ultima virtù
Today I
cardinale,
will talk about the
la
fourth and final
temperanza.
cardinal virtue, temperance.
Con le altre tre, questa virtù condivide una storia
With
che
the
risale
other
molto
three,
indietro
this
nel
virtue
tempo
shares a
e che
history
non
that
appartiene
goes
ai
far
soli
back in
cristiani.
time and does not only belong to Christians.
Per i greci, la pratica delle virtù aveva
For the
come
Greeks,
obiettivo la
the practice of
felicità.
the virtues had
Il
happiness.
filosofo Aristotele scrive
The
il suo
philosopher
più
Aristotle
importante
wrote his
trattato
most
di etica,
important treatise on ethics,
indirizzandolo
addressing
al
it
figlio
to his son
per
Nicomachus,
istruirlo nell'arte
to
di
instruct
vivere.
him in the art of living.
Perché tutti cerchiamo la felicità, eppure così pochi la raggiungono. Questa
Why
è la
does
domanda.
everyone seek happiness, even though
Per
so few
rispondere
achieve
a
it?
questa
This is
domanda,
the question.
Aristotele
To answer this
affronta il
question,
tema delle virtù,
Aristotle
tra
confronts
le
the
quali
theme of
ha
the
uno
virtues,
spazio di rilievo, la encrateia,
among which enkrateia
la
takes a prominent
temperanza.
place.
Il termine greco significa
This means
letteralmente
temperance.
potere su
The
se
Greek term
stesso.
literally means power over
Temperanza è un
oneself.
potere su se stesso.
Temperance is power over yourself.
Questa virtù è la capacità di autodominio, l'arte
This virtue is
di non
thus the
farsi
capacity
travolgere
for self-mastery,
da passioni ribelli, di
the
mettere
art of not
ordine
letting
in
oneself
quello
be
che
overcome
il
by
Manzoni
rebellious
chiama
passions,
il
of establishing order
disordine del cuore
in what
umano.
Manzoni calls the jumble of the human
Il
heart.
Catechismo della Chiesa Cattolica ci dice che la temperanza è la virtù morale che modera l'attrattiva dei piaceri e rende capaci di
The
equilibrio.
Catechism of the Catholic Church tells us that temperance is the moral virtue that moderates the attraction of pleasures and provides balance in the use of created goods. The Catechism continues, it ensures the will's mastery over instincts and keeps desires within the limits of what is honorable. The temperate person directs the sensitive appetites toward what is good and maintains a healthy discretion, and does not follow the base desires, but restrains the appetites.
Dunque, la temperanza, come dice la parola italiana,
Therefore, temperance,
virtù della giustizia,
as the Italian word says, temperanza, is the virtue of the right measure.
situazione si comporta con saggezza, perché le
In every
persone
situation,
agiscono mosse
one behaves wisely,
dell'impetu o
because people who
dell'esuberanza
act always moved by
sono
impulse
inaffidabili.
or exuberance are ultimately unreliable.
Temperanza sono inaffidabili sempre.
People without temperance are unreliable always.
Di dire quello che pensa,
In a world where many people boast about saying what they think,
pensare
the temperate
quello che
person
dice.
instead prefers to think about what he says.
Capite la differenza?
Do you understand the difference?
Non dire quello che mi viene in mente.
Don't say everything that comes to your mind.
Pensare quello che devo dire.
Think about what you have to say.
Non fa promesse.
The temperate person does not make empty promises, but makes commitments to the extent that he can fulfill them. Also with pleasures, the temperate person acts judiciously. The free course of impulses and total license accorded to pleasures end up backfiring on us, plunging us into a state of boredom. How many people who have wanted to try everything voraciously have found themselves losing the taste for everything. It is better then to seek the right measure. For example, to appreciate a good wine, to taste it in small sips. It's better than swallowing it all in one go. We all know about this. The temperate person knows how to weigh words and dose them well. He does not allow, he thinks about what he says and does not allow a moment's anger to ruin relationships and friendships that can then only be rebuilt with difficulty. Especially in family life, where inhibitions are lower, we all run the risk of not keeping tensions, irritations, and anger in check. There is a time to speak and a time to be silent. But both require the right measure. And this applies to many things. For instance, staying with others and staying alone. If the temperate person knows how to control his own irascibility, this does not mean we always find him with a peaceful and smiling face. Indeed, at times it is necessary to be indignant, but always in the right way. These are the words: the right measures, the right way. A word of rebuke is at times healthier than a sour, rancorous silence. The temperate person knows that nothing is more uncomfortable than correcting another person. But he also knows that it is necessary otherwise. One offers free rein to evil. In some cases, the temperate person succeeds in holding extremes together. He affirms absolute principles, asserts non-negotiable values, but also knows how to understand people and shows empathy for them. Shows empathy. The gift of the temperate person is therefore balance, a quality as precious as it is rare. Indeed, everything in our world pushes to excess. Instead, temperance combines well with gospel values such as smallness, discretion, modesty, meekness. The temperate person appreciates the respect of others, but does not make it the sole criterion for every action and every word. He is sensitive, he is able to weep, and is not ashamed, but he does not weep over himself. In defeat, he rises up again. In victory, he is capable of returning to his former reserved life. He does not seek applause, but knows that he needs others. Brothers and sisters, it is not true that temperance makes one grey and joyless. On the contrary, it lets one enjoy the goods of life better, staying together at the table, the tenderness of certain friendships, confidence with wise people, wonder at the beauty of creation. Happiness with temperance is the joy that flourishes in the heart in the heart of those who recognize and value what counts most in life. Let us pray to the Lord so that He may give us the gift, this gift of maturity, of age, of affectionate maturity, of social maturity, the gift of temperance. Thank you.
Très Saint-Père, les fidèles de langue française,
and now that we have heard the Holy Father's catechesis, we begin to hear the summary of this catechesis in various language groups, and these same language groups will, through the reader, express their greetings to the Holy Father, and the Holy Father in return will greet the pilgrims of that language group. And at the moment we are hearing the French. Although we will not be translating the summary of the catechesis, as we have just heard it, we will be translating the Holy Father's greetings to the faithful of each language group.
Sur la dernière vertu cardinale qui est la tempérance. Elle est la capacité de se dominer soi-même, l'art de ne pas se laisser submerger par les passions rebelles et mettre de l'ordre dans son cœur. Elle est la vertu de la juste mesure. La personne qui fait preuve de tempérance se comporte en chaque situation avec sagesse et jugement. Elle a le don de l'équilibre qui est une qualité aussi précieuse que rare. La tempérance rime bien avec des attitudes évangéliques comme la petitesse, la discrétion, la dissimulation et la douceur. Elle permet de mieux goûter les biens de la vie. Le bonheur dans la tempérance est une joie qui s'épanouit dans le cœur de ceux qui reconnaissent et apprécient ce qui compte le plus dans la vie. Maintenant, le Saint-Père va saluer en italien les fidèles de langue française.
Rivolgo il mio cordiale saluto alle persone di lingua francese, in particolare ai pellegrini, provenienti dalle parrocchie e dagli istituti scolastici in Francia. Impariamo a coltivare la virtù della temperanza.
I extend my warm greeting to the French-speaking people, especially to the pilgrims from the parishes and educational institutes of France.
Dio vi benedica.
Let us learn to cultivate the virtue of temperance so that we can control our words and actions to avoid unnecessary conflicts and promote peace in our society. God bless you.
Apprenons à cultiver la vertu de la tempérance pour savoir contrôler nos paroles et nos actes afin d'éviter des situations de conflits inutiles et promouvoir la paix dans notre société. Que Dieu vous bénisse.
Most Holy Father, the English-speaking pilgrims and visitors wish to express to you their sentiments of deep respect and esteem, and to assure you of their prayers for your ministry as the successor of Peter. At the end of the audience, we will sing together the Our Father in Latin. His Holiness will then impart his apostolic blessing, which he extends in a particular way to the members of your families at home. He also intends to bless any religious articles you may have brought for this purpose, and in a special way, his blessing goes to your children, the elderly, and those who are sick. The following is a summary of the Holy Father's catechesis at the beginning of the audience. Dear brothers and sisters, in our continuing catechesis on the cardinal virtues, we now turn to the fourth and final virtue of temperance. which the Catechism describes as the moral virtue that moderates the attraction of pleasures and provides balance in the use of created goods. Temperance is the virtue of self-mastery, of healthy discretion, guiding us to keep desires within the bounds of what is honorable. It helps us to act wisely in every situation, knowing when to speak, when to correct, and when silence serves as the best response. In matters of pleasure, temperance prompts us to exercise sound judgment, choosing moderation over excess, enabling us to savor life's pleasures in measured doses. In this sense, it is in harmony with the gospel values of littleness, discretion, and meekness. By cultivating the virtue of temperance, may we experience the profound joy of living balanced lives, delighting appropriately in the good things bestowed on us by God, the things that really matter. The Holy Father will now greet us in Italian.
Do il benvenuto a tutti i pellegrini di lingua inglese presenti all'odierna udienza, specialmente i gruppi provenienti da Inghilterra, Irlanda, Finlandia, Indonesia, Malaysia, Filippine, Corea e Stati Uniti. Nella gioia del Cristo risorto invoco su di voi e sulle vostre famiglie l'amore misericordioso di Dio nostro Padre. Il Signore vi benedica.
I extend a warm welcome to the English-speaking pilgrims and visitors taking part in today's audience, especially the groups from England, Ireland, Finland, Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, Korea, and the United States of America. In the joy of the risen Christ, I invoke upon you and your families the loving mercy of God our Father. May the Lord bless you.
And after hearing the greetings and summary in English, we now hear them in German.
Heiliger Vater, die Gläubigen deutscher Sprache möchten Ihnen ihre herzliche Zuneigung und aufrichtige Verbundenheit bekunden und versichern Sie zugleich Ihres Gebets in allen Anliegen Ihres universalen apostolischen Dienstes. Zum Schluss dieser Audienz singen wir gemeinsam das Vaterunser in lateinischer Sprache. Danach wird der Heilige Vater den apostolischen Segen erteilen. Gern schließt er darin ihre Angehörigen ein, besonders die Kinder, die älteren Menschen und die Leidenden. Er segnet auch die Rosenkränze und die übrigen Andachtsgegenstände, die sie dafür mitgebracht haben. Es folgt nun eine Zusammenfassung der Katechese des Heiligen Vaters in deutscher Sprache. Liebe Brüder und Schwestern, die Kardinaltugend der Mäßigung ist jene Tugend, welche die Neigung zu verschiedenen Vergnügungen zügelt und im Gebrauch geschaffener Güter das rechte Maß einhalten lässt. Sie sichert die Herrschaft des Willens über die Triebe und lässt die Begierden die Grenzen des Ehrbaren nicht überschreiten. Wie das Wort Mäßigung erkennen lässt, geht es also um das rechte Maß, um Ausgeglichenheit. In unserer Zeit, die vielfach zur Übertreibung und Zügellosigkeit neigt, können die mit dieser Tugend einhergehenden evangeliumsgemäßen Haltungen wie Bescheidenheit, Zurückhaltung, Verborgenheit und Sanftmut sehr heilsam sein und dazu beitragen, dass wir die Güter und Freuden des Lebens wirklich genießen können. Der Heilige Vater richtet nun einen kurzen Gruß auf Italienisch an die deutschsprachigen Gläubigen.
Cari fratelli e sorelle di lingua tedesca, cercando di vivere le virtù, abbandoniamo le abitudini dell'uomo vecchio per rivestirci dell'uomo nuovo, creato secondo Dio. In questo modo possiamo già pregustare la nuova vita di cui il risorto ci rende partecipi.
Papst Franziskus sagte auf
Dear
Italienisch,
brothers and sisters of the German language, as we strive to live by the virtues, let us abandon the habits of the old self and clothe ourselves with the new self, created accordingly to God. In this way we can already anticipate the new life of which the Risen One makes us partakers.
an dem der Auferstandene uns Anteil gibt.
And we just heard the summary and the greetings in German. And we will now hear the same thing in Spanish, except, as you know, the Holy Father's mother tongue is Spanish, since he is from Argentina, and so the Holy Father will be providing the summary of the catechesis himself after the greetings.
Se cantará el Padre Nuestro en latín. Después su santidad impartirá a todos los presentes la bendición apostólica que extiende complacido a los familiares, especialmente a los niños y a los ancianos, a los enfermos y a cuantos sufren. Bendice también los rosarios y objetos de devoción que los peregrinos llevan consigo.
The Holy Father will now provide a summary of his catechesis in Spanish.
Queridos hermanos y hermanas, hoy reflexionamos sobre la
We will
virtud de
not
la
be providing a
templanza,
translation for this, as you did
que es
hear
la cuarta y
the
última virtud cardinal.
translation of the
Se
original
trata de la virtud
at the beginning
moral
of the
que
audience.
modera la atracción de los placeres y procura el equilibrio en el uso de los bienes creados. La persona que vive esta virtud es sobria, mesurada y tiene capacidad de autodominio y no se deja arrastrar por las pasiones. En un mundo que exalta los excesos y el desenfreno, la templanza nos ayuda a poner orden en el corazón, a vivir con sabiduría y a buscar la justa medida a todas las cosas. Esta virtud asegura el dominio de la voluntad sobre los instintos y mantiene los deseos en los límites de la honestidad. También nos hace apreciar mejor los bienes que recibimos y las relaciones que establecemos con los demás. La palabra de Dios a menudo alaba la virtud de la templanza, que está relacionada con actitudes evangélicas como la pequeñez, la discreción, la vida escondida y la mansedumbre. Saludo cordialmente a los peregrinos de lengua española. Pidamos a Cristo resucitado.
I cordially greet the Spanish-speaking pilgrims.
Pidamos a Cristo resucitado que nos
Let us
enseñe a
ask
vivir
the
con
risen
sobriedad
Christ
y en
to
acción
teach
de
us to
gracias
live with
por tantos
sobriety
dones que
and in
recibimos
thanksgiving
de
for the
generosidad.
many gifts we receive from His
Jesús los
generosity.
bendiga y la Virgen Santa los
May
cuide.
Jesus bless you and
Muchas
may the
gracias.
Holy Virgin watch over you. Thank you very much.
Santo Padre,
And we
os
now
fiéis
hear
de língua
the
portuguesa desejam
greetings and the
testemunhar
summary
fiel
of the
fé e
catechesis
sincera fidelidade
in
e rezam por
Portuguese.
todas as intenções do seu ministério apostólico universal. No final desta audiência, cantaremos a oração do Pai Nosso em latim. Depois, o Santo Padre concederá a bênção apostólica com um pensamento especial às crianças, aos idosos e aos doentes. Abençoará também os terços e demais objetos de devoção que cada um tiver consigo. Leio agora um resumo da catequese que o Santo Padre acaba de pronunciar. A virtude da temperança assegura o domínio da vontade sobre os instintos e mantém os desejos dentro dos limites da honestidade. A pessoa temperante orienta para o bem os apetites sensíveis, Guarda uma sã discrição e não se deixa arrastar pelas paixões do coração. No mundo onde tantas pessoas se orgulham de dizer aquilo que pensam, a pessoa temperante prefere pensar o que diz. Sabe que há um tempo para falar e um tempo para calar, mas tanto um tempo como outro exigem a medida certa. Por isso, a qualidade da pessoa temperante é o equilíbrio, uma qualidade hoje tão preciosa como rara. De fato, no nosso mundo, tudo nos empurra para o excesso, enquanto a temperança faz comportar-nos com discrição, humildade e mansidão. Agora o Santo Padre saúda em italiano os fiéis de língua portuguesa.
Rivolgo un cordiale saluto ai pellegrini di lingua portoghese, in particolare a quanti sono venuti dal Brasile, invitando tutti a
I extend a warm greeting to the Portuguese-speaking pilgrims, especially to those who have come from Brazil, inviting everyone to remain faithful to Christ Jesus. May the Virgin Mary watch over your journey and help you to be a sign of trust and hope among others. May the blessing of God descend upon you and your families.
Dirijo uma cordial saudação aos peregrinos de língua portuguesa, especialmente a quantos vieram do Brasil, convidando todos a permanecer fiéis a Cristo Jesus. Vele sobre o vosso caminho a Virgem Maria e o vos ajude a ser sinal de confiança e esperança no meio dos outros. Sobre vós e vossas famílias, desça a bênção de Deus.
And we have now heard the greetings and the summary of the catechesis in Portuguese, and the next language is Arabic.
يسر المؤمنين الناطقين باللغة العربية الحاضرين هنا أن يعبروا لكم عن مشاعر الاحترام والتقدير وشكرهم البنوي ويرفقونها بصلواتهم الدائمة إلى الله من أجل قداستكم وخدمتكم كخليفة القديس بطرس. في نهاية هذه المقابلة سنرتل معا صلاة الأبانا باللغة اللاتينية، ثم سيمنح الأب الأقدس جميع الحاضرين البركة الرسولية ويشمل بها جميع أحبائكم وخاصة الأطفال والمتزوجين حديثا والمسنين والمرضى والمتألمين بآلام شديدة، وسيبارك كذلك المسابح والأشياء التقوية التي يحملها معه كل واحد منكم. إليكم ملخص التعليم المسيحي لقداسة البابا فرانسيس. تكلم قداسة البابا اليوم على فضيلة القناعة في إطار تعليمه في موضوع الرذائل والفضائل، وقال: فضيلة القناعة هي من الفضائل الأدبية الرئيسية التي تسيطر على جاذبية الملذات وتضمن التوازن في استعمال الخيرات، وهي تؤمن سيطرة الإرادة على الغرائز وتحفظ الرغبات في حدود الاستقامة، وهي تقتضي الحكمة في كل المواقف، فالإنسان القنوع يفكر بحكمة فيما يقوله ويتصرف بحكمة أمام الملذات، ويعرف أن يوزن وأن يقيس كلامه جيداً، ويتحكم بعصبيته، لكنه أحياناً يغضب بالطريقة الصحيحة ولخير الآخر، وهو يقدر احترام الآخرين له، لكنه لا يجعل ذلك المعيار الوحيد لحياته. إن هزم نهض من جديد، وإن انتصر فهو قادر على أن يرجع إلى حياته الخفية المعتادة. لا يسعى إلى تصفيق الناس له، لكنه يعرف أنه بحاجة إلى الآخرين. الإنسان القنوع يوجه شهواته نحو الخير ويحافظ على اعتدال سليم، ولا يتبع هواه ليسير بحسب شهوات قلبه. القناعة توصل إلى السعادة وإلى الفرح الذي يزهر في قلب الذين يعرفون ويقدرون ما هو الأهم في الحياة. والآن تحية البابا باللغة الإيطالية لأبناء الشرق الناطقين اللغة العربية.
Saluto i fedeli di lingua araba. la felicità con la temperanza e
I
letizia.
greet the Arabic-speaking faithful. Happiness with temperance is the joy that blossoms in the heart of those who recognize and value what matters most in life, so that they may better enjoy it. May the Lord bless and protect you all from every evil.
المؤمنين الناطقين باللغة العربية. السعادة مع القناعة هي فرح يزهر في قلب الذين يعرفون ويقدرون ما هو الأهم في الحياة حتى يستمتعوا بها بشكل أفضل. بارككم الرب جميعا وحماكم دائما من كل شر.
And after the Arabic, we will now hear the greetings and the summary of the catechesis in Polish.
Ojcze Święty, pielgrzymi z Polski i innych krajów pragną przekazać Waszej świątobliwości wyrazy synowskiego oddania i szczerej wierności, zapewniając o modlitwie we wszystkich intencjach Jego apostolskiej posługi. Na zakończenie audiencji zaśpiewamy modlitwę Ojcze Nasz po łacinie. Po jej zakończeniu Ojciec Święty udzieli nam apostolskiego błogosławieństwa, obejmując nim szczególnie dzieci, osoby w podeszłym wieku i dotknięte cierpieniem. Pobłogosławi także różańce i dewocjonalia, jakie pielgrzymi przynoszą ze sobą. A oto streszczenie katechezy Ojca Świętego. Drodzy bracia i siostry, dzisiaj będę mówił o czwartej i ostatniej cnocie kardynalnej, o umiarkowaniu. Nie należy ona wyłącznie do chrześcijan. Jej greckie tłumaczenie enkrateia oznacza władzę nad sobą. Katechizm Kościoła katolickiego mówi, że umiarkowanie pozwala opanować dążenie do przyjemności i zapewnia równowagę w używaniu dóbr stworzonych. Osoba umiarkowana potrafi zachować właściwą miarę, waży słowa, nie pozwala, aby chwila wzburzenia zrujnowała relacje i przyjaźnie, które odbuduje się z trudem. Jednocześnie potrafi zaprotestować i poprawiać innych, aby nie dać wolnej ręki złu. Umiarkowaniu towarzyszą łagodność, dyskrecja, skrytość i cichość. Osoba umiarkowana, pokonana, z pokorą powstaje, by cieszyć się dobrami życia, przebywaniem razem przy stole, czułością pewnych przyjaźni, zaufaniem mądrych osób, zachwytem nad pięknem stworzenia. Ceni to, co w życiu najważniejsze. Obecnie Ojciec Święty pozdrowi nas, Polaków, w języku włoskim.
Saluto cordialmente i pellegrini polacchi. Dio ha donato
I warmly greet the Polish pilgrims.
una ricca storia e cultura, grandi santi.
God has gifted your nation with a rich history and culture, great saints, and a beautiful homeland. Thankful for these gifts, cultivate an inner freedom of spirit that knows how to use spiritual and material goods, culture, and art with temperance, while renouncing everything that destroys life and the dignity of the human person. I bless you from the bottom of my heart.
Oto słowa Ojca Świętego. Serdecznie pozdrawiam pielgrzymów polskich. Bóg obdarował wasz naród bogatą historią i kulturą, wielkimi świętymi oraz piękną ziemią ojczystą. Dziękując za te dary, pielęgnujcie wewnętrzną wolność ducha, która potrafi z umiarkowaniem korzystać z dóbr duchowych i materialnych, z kultury i sztuki oraz rezygnować z tego, co niszczy życie i godność osoby ludzkiej. Z serca wam błogosławię.
And we have just heard the final summary of the catechesis. And now we hear the greetings to and from the Pope in Italian.
Del suo universale ministero apostolico. A conclusione di questa udienza canteremo la preghiera del Padre nostro in latino, terminata la quale il Santo Padre impartirà la benedizione apostolica che estende in modo speciale ai bambini, agli anziani e ai sofferenti. Benedirà anche i rosari e gli oggetti di devozione che ciascuno porta con sé.
Rivolgo un cordiale benvenuto ai pellegrini di lingua italiana.
I extend a warm welcome to the Italian-speaking pilgrims. In particular, I greet the Giuseppini religious of Morialdo and the priests of the dioceses of Milan and Andria, who are celebrating significant anniversaries of their priestly ordination, encouraging them in their commitment to Christ and in their service to their brothers and sisters. I warmly welcome the faithful from Trevignano, Agerola, Triggiano, and the confraternities of Taranto, as well as the ANSPI group from Avellino and the Association of Rural Landscapes of Historical Interest from Arezzo. I urge everyone to be generous protagonists of goodness and evangelical hospitality. Finally, my thoughts go to the sick, the elderly, newlyweds, and the young, especially to the many students who bring us joy with their presence. To each one, my wish is that, departing from the eternal city and returning to their respective environments, they may bring the testimony of a renewed commitment to active faith, thus contributing to making the light of the risen Christ shine in the world. And our thoughts at this moment, all of us, must go to the people in war. We think of the Holy Land, Palestine, Israel. We think of Ukraine, martyred Ukraine. We think of the prisoners of war. May the Lord move the will to free them all. And speaking of prisoners, what comes to mind is those who are tortured. Torture of prisoners is a terrible thing. It is not human. We think of the many tortures that wound the dignity of the person, and we think of the many tortured. May the Lord help and bless all, and to all of you, my blessing.
Pater noster, qui es in celis, sanctificetur nomen tuum, adveniat regnum tuum, fiat voluntas tua, sicut in cielo et in terra. Panem nostrum quotidianum da nobis hodie, et dimitte nobis debita nostra, sicut et nos dimittimus debitoribus nostris, et ne nos inducas in tentationem, sed libera nos a malo.
Dominum vobiscum.
Et cum spiritu tuo,
Sin nomen Domini benedictum.
ex hoc nunc et usque in saeculum,
Dori nostrum in nomine Domini.
qui feci celum et terram.
Benedicat vos, omnipotens Deus, Pater, et Filius, et Spiritus Sanctus.
Amen.
And with that, we have heard the Holy Father's general audience on this 17th of April, and that concludes this live broadcast. Today we heard a reflection from the Holy Father on temperance as he continued and concluded his cycle of catechesis on the vices and the virtues. Many thanks go to our partner radios, through which you may be listening: Radio Maria Papua New Guinea, Luminous Radio India, Catholic TV, Atmadarshan TV, Shalom World TV, Radio Maria England, Salt and Light TV, Catholic Faith Network in America, EWTN TV English. And thank you to all our friends from the Deaf Catholic Youth Initiative for the Americas, DCYIA. This event is available on our Vatican News YouTube channel and on our Vatican News website, where you can also find summaries of the Holy Father's discourses and homilies, as well as reports on his main activities. And you can find us and all of that at www.vaticannews.va. Please do also take a look at our Facebook, X and Instagram pages. My name is Francisca Merlo. Thank you very much for being with me today, and until next time, Laudetur Jesus Christus. Praise be Jesus Christ.